Hello guys, got another tutorial for you in Halo 2 Anniversary Forge. This one I'm going to call it alternate routes, but the premise of it could be used for a number of things I think. Basically we've got this sort of environment, we've got one walkway there and then a rock here that blocks another walkway. If we walk through here there is a trigger around here that when we walk into it, it blocks the walkway that we've come down and it frees up the other entrance, the other route. So as you can see here, where we went down is completely blocked and now this one's open. So we'll jump into Forge and I'll show you how we achieve this. Right, here we are in Forge, as you can see. This is the setup we've got, my rubbish scenery that I just threw down, that one rock, another rock, and then we've got 3 timers and the trigger. So it's fairly straightforward. I'll just go through it quickly and then we'll build one. So this timer here will be attached to this rock. So basically if we start at the trigger, so this trigger is just an on enter toggle, so that every time we enter it'll just say on or off. So if we click on it, go to scripting, and on here all we're doing is broadcasting on channel 1 and saying this, you need to do something on channel 1. So originally I had it set up so that these were on channel 1, but I found out that it doesn't work how you would think it works. So even if you set one of the rocks to not spawn at start, it will take whatever's on the spawn channel and just apply it to both of them. So my workaround for that is to introduce timers, but so these timers toggle once. These timers don't actually do any sort of timing. All they're doing is on the power channel they're listening for channel 1, which is what the trigger is sending, and then they just broadcast on channel 2 with 0 time. So essentially working as a controller for the rock. And then this rock is listening for channel 2, and then if we check the other timer, we're listening for channel 1 again, and we're going to broadcast on channel 3. Now this isn't enough to make it work. What we need to do is add another timer in that runs as soon as you start the game. This will run, and what it does is these rocks both appear or don't appear like at the start of the game. They work together for some reason. So what this one does is we broadcast on channel 2 and there's no spawn channel, no power channel, and basically it's just going to run once at the start of the game, set channel 2 to disappear, or do the opposite of what it's already doing basically. And that's because if you run something through the first channel, say like channel 1, and you're saying to be on channel 1, what's going to happen is the objects that are listening for channel 1, no matter how you set it up initially, they will just always be on if channel 1 is saying to be on. I can show that in using lights very quickly. So if we say have a red light and a blue light, and we set these to channel scripting broadcast channel 1, and then this one to broadcast channel 1 as well, and we just throw down a if we say this one is not on channel anything, so if we just then throw down a trigger on enter on, we'll do an on enter toggle actually, it might be, yeah, it's probably better. So just throw that there. So as you would expect, as we said in the basics, that it helps if I actually set this to broadcast on the channel. So we enter and it'll toggle the light. So if we set this one now to be off, in the theory you would think this would, like, because it excuse me, because these are opposite, if I set this to channel 1 now, they would still continue working opposite each other. But if you watch the light, as soon as I change it to channel 1, it automatically takes the state of channel 1, and that's the reason we've used timers as controllers, because these, they don't care about the state, all they care about is knowing when to start and when to stop, basically. Right, let's build one. So I've put this cone down to mark where I'm going to be placing the detection, the trigger area, just so that I know when I spawn in where to come to. I'm going to show you that you don't have to use rocks or anything, so I'll use barricades this time. I'll get 2 of these. We want to place them down wherever, and then we want to head over to the scripting and triggers on enter toggle, and we'll stick this down somewhere near the cone, just so that we know where we need to go. And then we need 3 timers. We want the timer toggle once timer, so again let's throw them near where the items are going to be, and we'll duplicate that one, duplicate that, and then this one can go down here anywhere. So now let's do the setup. So for the trigger area, all we want to do on the trigger is broadcast on a channel. So I'm going to choose channel 5 just because I've got a few other things in this world, so, but you could put it on whatever channel you want. And so let's remember that, channel 5. So what we want to do with channel 5 is we want to go to our other timers that we've placed down for each item, and these are going to want to be listening to for channel 5 on their power channel. So basically when they hear 5 they will start their timer, and then we're going to broadcast this one on 6, and we want the timer data to be 0 because we want it to fire in instantly. We want it false on the despawn as well because we don't want it despawning by accident. And then on this other one, power channel again is going to be 5, despawn false again. Broadcast channel, we're going to change this one to 7, and again timer data is 0. So now that we've got this one on 6 and this one on 7, we want to change the barricades to their spawn channel. We want to match the timers that they are assigned to. So this one's 6, and then this one will be 7. And then in theory this would work, but what we have to do is another step, is to remove one of these from the area at the beginning of the game, because even when you put it on this place at start to be false, it still will, it'll either, both of them will disappear or both of them will appear. I think it's something to do with the broadcasting on the channels, like what I showed you with the lights. So quick workaround for it is to just go in here on this third timer, and then we basically want it to have -1 on that, -1 on that, candy spawn false, but broadcast on to, let's say, 6, so that when we first spawn in, the one on the left will just not be there because this timer has taken it out. So what we've built here should work, so let's head on over to a custom game just to test it. Just quickly before we test it in the custom game, there is one other thing that I forgot to mention. What we want to be able to do is despawn these items. So can despawn on the barricades, both need to be set to true, and something I forgot, so remember that one. Right, so here we are in the custom game. As you can see, we've got the one barricade on the left and there isn't one on the right. So if we head towards the cone, what we should see is a swap, which we do. If we move away, head back, might help if I actually got out of the area, come back in, and we get a swap again. Go away, come back. Again, I think the toggle has this sort of cooldown period, so you can't just keep spamming it. And as you can see, you have to like get quite a significant way away. It could also be that I'm not actually getting out of the area with me not being able to see it. You can see there. Yeah. So that's the alternate route sort of tutorial, I guess. One thing I didn't mention is, oops, on one of the barricades you should set to not spawn at the start. What I said about them both appearing, I was wrong. It's that they both don't appear because they're listening for a spawn channel, and so they basically think that because that spawn channel hasn't been said, that they shouldn't be spawning in. But what we're doing with the other timer is telling one of them to come in, whereas the other one shouldn't come in. So that is it. I hope it's helped, and I hope to see somebody using this sort of feature in a map. I mean, the idea can be used for a variety of different things. You could link it up to the doors, so like you could have alternating doors, and to be fair, you could extend it to have more than 2 things. I just feel like to keep it simple, we should just stick with 2 for now. So thanks for watching, hope it helped, and any questions feel free to ask. Thanks guys.